You say you're done, but somehow you always go back. Not always in body, but in mind, in memory, in all the ways they still live in you. You replay what they said. You imagine what you could have said. You keep asking, why did they treat me like that? Why couldn't they love me the way I needed? You want closure. You want peace. But something in you keeps reaching for the pain. And you tell yourself, it's because I love them. But what if that's not the truth? What if what's keeping you tied to them isn't love at all? In this video, we'll explore how Eckhart Tolle's teachings can help you break free from toxic relationships, not by changing the other person, but by waking up from the story that keeps you bound to them. Because freedom doesn't start with them, it starts with what's still living inside you. Step 1. Spot the pain body's addiction to drama. It always starts the same way. A moment, a word, a silence, and suddenly something in you ignites. Your chest tightens. Your mind races. You feel like you've been here before. But this isn't just a reaction to what's happening now. It's a revival of every hurt you've ever buried. It's the emotional residue from the past rising up to take over the present. Eckhart Tolle calls this the pain body, a collection of old emotional wounds and unresolved pain that lives inside you. It has no power of its own until it's fed. And what does it feed on? Drama, conflict, emotional chaos. When you're in a toxic relationship, the pain body is always hungry. It waits in the background, quiet until it's not, and then it drags you back into the same old fight. The same loop of blame, guilt, false peace, and back again. But here's how you begin to break that cycle. The moment you feel that emotional surge, don't speak, don't act, don't respond. Just pause, breathe, and silently say to yourself, "This is my pain body, not my truth." That simple phrase creates space. It reminds you you are not the reaction. Now shift your focus. Bring your awareness to your hands, feel them from the inside, then to your feet, then to your breath. Why? Because the pain body lives in the mind story, but presence lives in the body. And the moment you return to sensation, the pain body starts to lose its grip. Even a few seconds of this breaks the pattern. Then when the emotional wave has passed, take 5 minutes. Grab your phone or a notebook and write, what triggered me? What was I believing in that moment? What role did I fall into? You'll begin to see the pattern. It's the same emotional loop, just wearing different clothes. This is the first step to freedom. Not by confronting them, but by catching the exact moment you get pulled in and choosing presence over reaction. Because once you can see the pain body, you stop being controlled by it, and presence becomes your protection. But presence alone isn't the whole escape, because even when you stop reacting, there's something deeper that still keeps you stuck, the identity you've built around the pain, and that's what we need to break next. Step 2. Break the role you've been playing. Toxic relationships don't just steal your peace, they shape your identity. You start to believe you are the one who always fixes, the one who forgives, the one who holds everything together. And when it falls apart, your mind doesn't just say they failed you. It whispers you failed them. You weren't enough. You didn't try hard enough. You didn't heal them the way you promised yourself you would. This is not love. This is identity attachment, the ego's grip on the role you've been playing. I'm the victim. They hurt me. They ruined everything. But here's what Eckhart Tolle wants you to see. To stay the victim, you must keep someone else locked in as the villain. You keep the story alive by reliving the wound, and unknowingly you trap yourself in the narrative. So how do you break the loop? Next time you hear yourself thinking, I was the one who was hurt, pause, feel the emotion, but don't follow the story. Then ask yourself, who am I without this story? If I didn't play this role, what would I be free to feel right now? Sit in that question, even if it feels empty at first. That space is not emptiness. It's freedom. Because the truth is, you are not the role you play in someone else's life. You are the awareness beneath it. The ego always justifies the role it clings to. They needed me. They were broken. No one else would have stayed. The moment you hear that inner justification, pause and gently say to yourself, that's the role speaking. I don't have to keep playing it. Breaking the role isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about reclaiming who you are without the story. And from that space, you can start to respond differently. Not as the victim, not as the fixer, but as the one who's finally awake. Once you begin stepping out of the role, you create a gap between who you thought you were and the deeper awareness that's always been there beneath the pain. And in that gap, you're ready to meet your greatest power. The ability to stay rooted in stillness, even when everything around you pulls for a reaction. Step 3. Become the space, not the reaction. Toxic relationships don't just stir emotion. They train you to react, to prove your worth, to defend your side, to explain your heart to someone who isn't listening. And each time you react, you fall back into the loop. Eckhart Tolle teaches that true transformation begins the moment you stop being the reaction and start becoming the space that notices it. The next time a trigger hits, don't resist it, don't suppress it. Just become the observer. Feel the heat rising in your body. Notice the urge to text, to yell, to explain. And then, don't move. Just breathe. When triggered, pause and count 10 breaths. Feel each inhale, each exhale. Breath 1, I feel it. Breath 5, I don't need to react. Breath 10, I'm still here. This doesn't suppress the feeling. It alchemizes it. Because now, instead of being swept into the storm, you're standing in the eye of it. When you feel yourself reaching for the phone, the last word, or the apology you don't mean, pause and say out loud or silently, "This is my nervous system, not my truth." Because often what we think is urgency is just our trauma's voice, disguised as logic. The moment you name the pull, you weaken it. Toxic relationships condition you to believe that silence is weakness. But Tolle reminds us, not reacting is not weakness, it is strength. Stillness is not passive, it's power, unshakable, grounded, alive. And the more you choose not to react, the more you reclaim parts of yourself that were constantly being pulled into emotional survival. You don't always have to say something. You don't have to get the last word. You don't need to prove your pain, because presence speaks louder than defense, and stillness sets stronger boundaries than anger ever could. Step 4. Leave without needing closure. You keep waiting for the moment it all makes sense, for them to say sorry, to finally admit what they did, to look you in the eyes and say, "I see it now, you were right." But that moment may never come. And if your peace depends on it, you've handed your freedom to someone who was never capable of giving it. Eckhart Tolle teaches us that closure isn't something they give you. It's something you give yourself when you stop needing the past to resolve before you can move forward. Because the truth is, you don't need the story to end. You just need to stop living inside it. Sit for a moment, close your eyes, breathe slowly, and say without force or bitterness, "I release the role I played in this story. I release the version of me that stayed. I don't need to be understood to be free." Repeat it until it softens. Then feel the stillness. That stillness is your closure. The mind wants closure. The heart wants peace. But the soul just wants truth. And sometimes the truth is, they won't understand. They won't change. They won't come back. And that's okay. Because you don't need closure to heal. You need presence. You need space. You need yourself. And sometimes the most toxic relationship isn't the one you walked away from. It's the one you're still having, with the voice in your head that says, "You failed. You weren't enough. You should have saved them." That voice, it doesn't speak for truth. It speaks for pain. And you don't owe that voice anything anymore. Final message, the quiet return to self. And maybe now, as everything slows, you're starting to feel it. That space, that breath, that you beneath it all. Not the version of you that fought to be loved, not the one who twisted to stay chosen, but the one who was there long before the storm and is still standing now that it's past. Because freedom was never going to come with their apology, or their change, or their permission. Freedom came the moment you stopped searching for peace in their chaos and started remembering the stillness inside you. So no, you don't need to explain. You don't need to get the last word. You don't need to finish the story. You just need to stop living inside it. And from here, this breath, this now, you begin again, not as the victim, not as the fixer, but as the space, clear, untouched, free,